Hey guys, I'm Darren Miles with Darren Miles Photography, and I'm based here in beautiful, sunny Southwest Florida. First up is build quality, and let me just sum it up in one word: robust. This thing is heavy, coming in at a hefty 44 pounds. It's built like a little tank and weighs as much as a car battery, probably because the battery that's in there is about the same size and weight as a car battery. The handles are grippy and made out of a really tough plastic, though I don't think you want to drop this thing because it still looks and feels kind of brittle to me. Buttons, switches, and rubber flaps, they're all pretty straightforward and tactile and obvious. In the end, this thing is just a source of power for multiple application. And build quality really can't be expected to get much better than this. Maybe if the exterior case were made out of metal, but given that this is electric, I don't know that metal would necessarily be a good idea. So for build, I'm really not sure what else there is to say, but we're going to give this thing a 10 out of 10 for build quality. Next up is ease of use. The ideal user of a product like this is probably somebody who camps on a regular basis and needs power for lots of little household devices they would take with them on a camping trip, like maybe lights or a coffee maker, maybe small portable ovens or refrigerators, etc. Now I'm happy to report that this device with 2,000 watts available can handle them all, even simultaneously. But when it comes to ease of use, if you know how to plug a device into a USB charging port or into a wall, you're going to find this is incredibly easy to use. The first thing you need to do is power up the device. The second thing you need to do is power on or select the accessory that you're going to use, be it AC power, for example. And then you plug it in, just like you would at an outlet in your house. It's pretty straightforward. From there, the power lasts for days. It's pretty incredible. Again, I'm not the typical user. I'm usually charging batteries for cameras, flashes, etc., which don't take a lot of power and certainly don't push this thing to the limit. Now, charging the power station takes about 10 hours with the standard charger that's included. OKMO also offers a solar panel, which they didn't send me, so I can't give you an exact time that it takes to charge, but with bright sunshine, I'm assuming it'll probably take a little bit longer to charge than it would if you plugged it into the wall. The bottom line is, ease of use, it just doesn't get much easier than this, and as such, we're going to give the power station another perfect 10 out of 10 for ease of use. Next up is value. When OKMO first introduced me to this product, I was thinking, even though it's beautiful and sunny in Southwest Florida most of the time, one of the things we really know how to do well down here is storms. And with storms comes power outages. A 2,000 watt power station like this would be ideal, as we'd be able to power a bunch of small appliances for a period of time while the crews work to get the electricity back on. My kids could power their iPhones and iPads as well. So for practical purposes, the OKMO power station is pretty awesome. OKMO says that with normal electricity usage, a household could power themselves for 2 to 4 days. I'm sure that depends on exactly what it is that you're powering. I don't think, for example, I could be running my air conditioning unit off of this, but a small refrigerator and some small appliances, no problem, not to mention iPads, iPhones, etc., to keep the kids at bay. At $1,400, the OKMO 2,000 watt power station is by no means cheap, and there are certainly other options available in the marketplace today, so be sure to do your own research before you go ahead and plunk down the $1,400 that it takes to get this device. Again, I wish OKMO gave me more information, but in terms of what it's capable of doing, the OKMO could be a great device in an emergency situation like a storm or a power outage, or if you happen to be a camper. I could see where something like this would be just great if you were to go glamping instead of camping. So for value, I'm going to give the OKMO an 8.5 out of 10. To wrap up this review, we gave the OKMO 2,000 watt power station a 35.5 out of 40 and a recommended rating. The final word, the one area that I really didn't get into that I want to cover now is how do I use the OKMO as a professional photographer? The reality is there are a lot of small handheld battery packs for much less money that professional photographers can take along with them if they go on the road quite a bit, as I do. But there are certain situations where a device like this would definitely come in handy. I can already hear my critics now saying things to me like, why didn't you buy extra batteries? Why did you not double check that your batteries were fully charged before you left the house? You should always have a backup plan. I love it when other professional photographers pretend that they've never been in a situation where they themselves have forgotten a critical piece of gear for a shoot. The truth of the matter is I usually take all those precautions, but nobody's perfect, and sometimes you just forget. There are also situations where even if I have backup batteries and power, things can still happen. For example, there are certain times when I will do multiple photo, video, and 360 tour shoots on multiple houses in a row in the same day. I use the Ricoh Theta Z camera for my 360 tours, which is awesome, but it doesn't have the greatest battery life in the world, and the battery is internal, meaning there really isn't a backup option that I can bring along with me, which means charging between jobs is a necessity. Especially, again, if you're doing multiple ones in a row. Yes, I have a car charger for it, but if your phone is anything like mine, it's usually dominating that port and will run out of battery pretty quickly if it isn't plugged in. It's also convenient to be able to charge multiple devices at once in the back of my car if I need to. Camera batteries, flash batteries, the aforementioned Ricoh Z Theta camera, whatever, etc. Obviously, I'm not going to carry this thing around, but if I can leave it stationary in the back of my car, I will definitely take advantage of it, and I have. It's like having an outlet from your home available at your disposal in your car. It's very convenient, and I kind of like it, and I take it pretty much with me wherever I go now. I've definitely found a way to work it into my workflow, and to be honest, it's almost become like a security blanket, and I kind of like it. That's a bit of a long-winded explanation for something that's pretty practical and pretty useful if you're a professional photographer who's on the go and on the road all the time, like me.